episode number 2 of Fatty to Natty, and we're gonna go to the gym even though I don't want to, so I'll speak to you when I get there. Okay, we have arrived at said gym. It's over there. I've also forgot to charge my GoPro as well, so you lot have not got a lot of battery. I'm having a real battle with the mental at the moment in the gym, in the sense that in my head I can see the version of myself in the gym that I really enjoy and the version of myself that I really want to become, but getting out of bed to get there at the moment is where I'm falling down. So this morning, for example, I set my alarms for 8 o'clock, wanted to be here for about 1/2 past. I didn't leave the house till about 10 to 9 because I kept snoozing my alarms. So because in my head I was like, I'll go tomorrow, I'll go on Wednesday, and it's always that at the moment. It's always, I've missed my alarms, it's alright, I'll go tomorrow. And that is the battle at the moment, is the mental. So I'm gonna try and change that. My GoPro also just turned off because the battery's low, so I might be fighting with that this morning. So we may get clips of the workout, we may not. So that was somewhat of a short session, but I twinged my elbow a little bit on bench press. The rest of my exercises were tricep exercises and I didn't want to push it, you know what I mean? So, I'm shattered. Flipping heck. So I did, I thought to ease myself back into it and to give me longevity this week, I think I did 3 exercises. Oh, I'm so unfit, bro. And I'm gonna leave it at that for exercising today. I'm gonna try and get a food plan together today because I don't have one currently, and my mindset has just been ruined by eating what it wants, so I need to change that. So might nip to Aldi on the way home and just pick up a few little bits like I did last week, and then we'll go from there. And I'm gonna charge you lot as well because you're dying. You need new batteries. So I've only got a handful of bits, as you can see. I got a few of the protein bits again, you know, like protein yogurts, protein mousse. I also bought a whole chicken for $5 because I found last week that it's far more efficient to buy the full chicken for $5 than it is to buy, you know, like, what's it called? Chicken breast pieces, because they're like £2.50 and some of them like £2.89 as well. So it's actually cheaper to buy a full chicken and like strip the meat off it yourself. So I'm doing that again this week. We'll see how long it lasts. I think it lasted me about 4 days last week, so value for money, I would say. Right, so because of the kind of headspace I'm in with all of this, I'm going for simple food, and I suppose you could call this some kind of like grain salad, even though the only salad that's in it is lettuce. So it's basically just, all I've done today is I've chucked together half a packet of rice, cooked microwave rice and grains, half a packet of cooked chicken, lettuce, half a bag of lettuce, and a few cubes of feta. So that's what that is. And all I'm going for at the moment is easy stuff that I know I can control the calories on, until I can formulate a meal plan. Because my short-term goal is just to get back in the gym 4 times a week. You know, I've been speaking to my PT today, and I said to him, my goal, short-term goal, is to be back on it by the end of August. Now, we're in the last week of July as we're recording this, so my goal is to be back in the gym 4 times a week and calorie counting every day by the end of August. Now obviously I'd like it to happen before then, but that's my milestone that I'm looking at in the near future. You know, I'm looking ahead, and by 30th of August I want to be back 4 times a week in the gym, calorie controlling everything, making sure that I'm being wise with my food and drink decisions, because this is the thing as well, it's not just food, it's the drink as well. You know, I had I had an Arizona, a can of an I had a can of an Arizona iced tea the other day, yeah? Really, really nice, my word. Arizona iced tea is really, really nice. This can was like 200 calories, or 210 calories just for the drink, you know? Now obviously I wasn't bothered at the time, but I'm more bothered moving forward now. And it's like 210 calories for a drink. You know, so it's really crazy how you have to be mindful of everything. Now you can work stuff like that into your diet if you want to. You know, you can save your calories and go, you know what, I'm having a really, really nice big coffee that is gonna be like 170 calories or something, and you can set them aside, which is what I might do, you know, so that I'm not just drinking water and eating chicken and rice all the time. But I think for now, the key for me, because I know what's going to work best for me at the moment, and at the moment the key for me is to find my flow and find my rhythm. And it's starting with easy, simple stuff like that. So that is where we're at with that. So I'm just sat here taking notes from a podcast episode that I listened to the other day. Let me put my spectacles on so I can see you. It's called Philosophize This. If you want to go and listen to it, I highly recommend it because it gets you thinking. But what it has, it sparked my thinking. You know, it's made the cogs start moving. It's, you know, fueled the fire up here, and it's got me thinking about this whole weight loss journey and about everything involved in it. And I'm going to try and find some footage for you so that you can see the idea that I'm going for. But basically, I've realised that I need to romanticize this journey. I need to fall in love with it, basically. And I do, because up here in my headspace, I'm in love with this journey. I'm in love with the gym. I enjoy it. I enjoy every aspect. But I've realised that in order for me to succeed in this, not only do I have to focus, and I have to forget that motivation exists, and it's all about discipline, but I have to make it an aesthetically pleasing journey to my brain in order for me to continue this and be successful with this. Because the amount of times I have started a weight loss journey in like the last 6 years, and clearly still fat, so it's not worked, has it? But I've realised, I've reached a point now where I've realised that I have to make this aesthetically pleasing, and I have to romanticize it for my brain to go, oh yeah, let's get into this, let's do this, you know. I have to approach it differently with a different mindset and look at it and think, I can't wait to go to the gym. I can't wait to eat this good, healthy, fulfilling food. I can't wait to go swimming. I can't wait to do this. I can't wait to go and get my steps in. You know what I mean? I have to do that because it's the only way I'm going to succeed. And it just, listening to this philosophy podcast sparked that thought up here. So we have to find a way to do that. So I wanted to just show you something before I forget. So I went to Aldi after the gym and I got a box of these, £2.50 for a box of these. Now these claim to have no calories in them, but can you really create a tasty beverage without calories? It will be they've got 0.5, they've got half a calorie in them. But no, seriously, like, I've tried to move away from stuff like this. Now this is zero sugar, but obviously, as we know, zero sugar stuff is usually filled with a ton of sweetener, so I'm trying to move away from stuff like that. I don't mind stuff like that every so often, but knowing what I'm like, and I mean, that only says it's 2 calories on there, but I get like really obsessed with stuff like that. So I'm like, I see stuff like that on offer, and then I drink it for like a month straight every day. And then I'll go through periods where I don't drink anything like that. So I'm trying to replace stuff like that with stuff like this. So we're gonna give this a go, I think, and we'll see how far we get with that. Another aspect that I want to bring to this journey as well is things like cold plunges and saunas and things like that. I want this whole journey not just to be about the gym. I want it to be about wellness and health and well-being overall, you know, because cold plunges are supposed to be good for your mental. So I'm all about trying things that are good for your mental, because we should all look after our mental, you know. But I'm all about a whole like encompassing health journey, and not just, oh well, I went to the gym and lifted heavy circles twice, you know. Not wrong with that if that's all you're doing, it's working for you. I'm not saying anything, but I know personally I want to be like cardiovascular fit, I want to be physically fit, I want to be physically strong, I want to be mentally agile for as long as I can in this lifetime, you know. So I want to encompass things like swimming, cold plunges, saunas, massages, like sports massages, if there comes a time when I can afford that, because we all know things like that are expensive. I actually just want this whole thing to be like a full, wait, where are you going? I want this whole thing to be like a fully encompassing journey, you know, where it's all about physical health, internal health, mental health, and all that jazz. So I think part of my mission is going to try and find somewhere that does like cold plunges and saunas. Because there's a place in Manchester that I follow on Instagram, but it's like the centre of Manchester is like 40 minutes, 45 minutes, depending on traffic. And I'm like, do I want a mission into Manchester 3 times a week, 2 times a week, 4 times a week for like cold plunges and saunas and that? And especially, you know, when you look like this, don't really want to get that out in front of people right now. So so I don't know, I'm gonna have to do some research anyway. That's the plan, or that's the vibe I'm going for. It's a whole encompassing health journey. Physical health, let's get hench and strong, let's get mentally strong and mentally clear and dialed in, you know? That's the goal. And the thing is as well, right, like, let's, on a serious note, like, I have to get rid of this once and for all, do you know what I mean? Like, it has to go. I have to get rid of it. This is the one and only final time that I remain a fat boy. You know, it's time to actually look after the body, internally and externally. You know, I've been really dwelling on this for the last couple of weeks, and I think I mentioned it earlier in the video about how trying to get back to the gym regularly has been more of a mental battle than a physical battle. Because once I'm in the gym, I'm fine. I'm like, whoo, we're home. We're home. Hello, heavy circles, you know? But when I'm in bed and I've missed my alarm 4 times and I'm just like, oh, but tomorrow. You know, that's where the battle is. So a lot of this is about a mental battle more than a physical battle, because get me in that gym and I'm sweet. But trying to get me out of bed in the morning, not so sweet. So that's where we're gonna have to think about this a little bit, I think. I also don't know what these videos are gonna look like either. This is only the second one I've done of this. I came up with the idea last week. I don't know what it's supposed to look like. But my task now is to try and build on last week without turning my channel into a purely gym channel. You know, I want it to be an element of my content because it's a big element of the change that I'm trying to initiate and I'm trying to grow. But I don't want to turn into a gymfluencer. I don't want to turn into a gym channel and my content just be going, oh, what I can lift. You know, not that there's anything wrong with that, but I'm not about that. I've got a lot more about me than I just love the gym. You know, there's more to me than that. There's more creatively to me than the fact that I just go to the gym, you know? I've got to work out now if I actually want to just do like if I just film one of the 3 sessions or one of the 4 sessions in a week and then do an update, or do I do snippets from all of them and then round it up at the end of the week, you know? But we can figure it out. I'm trying not to overcomplicate things, because this is partly why I've failed in my content journey so far, is because I try and work out all the nitty-gritty stuff before I even film one thing, and then I end up not starting it because I'm like, oh, the conditions are wrong, I can't think about this, I can't do that, that's not right, there's too many people there, you know? Whereas this time I've just kind of picked up the GoPro and gone, I'll just film this and then see what happens with it, you know? And we'll see what happens. That's pretty much it, really. We'll see what happens, you know? We'll continue building, and then we can fine-tune it as we go. You know, it's kind of a bit like a woodworker starts with a log and then shaves it down and carves it into a final product, you know? That's what we're gonna do with this kind of series. We're gonna start with a log and then we're gonna fine-tune it along the way. you know, and then eventually it'll turn into something. I'm gonna end the video here. That was week 2, episode 2 of Fatty to Natty. I hope you enjoyed it. If you enjoyed it, please let me know in the comments. If you've got any suggestions on what you want to see in this series, let me know in the comments. If you liked it, drop a like. If you're not subscribed yet and you want to see where we get, then you know what to do. You need to hit that big red button called subscribe. Other than that, I will see you whenever I see you.